Okay, so welcome to this second part of the tutorial, lesson number 2. And in this lesson we are going to each lesson I will try to make 1 or 2 applications and try to discuss them. I will send you the link again in the description of all those applications where you can explore them on your own and play with the code. So I have my first project open, so that's called Simple Window, and you just, if you have already, I guess you should have installed a CodeBlocks on your machine or Visual Studio, and CodeBlocks works fine for me, so I'm gonna double click here and it's gonna open my project on the project manager on the left side. So I have the source file, double click on it, and as we studied in the previous lesson, we have the entry point to our program, which is WinMain, and we have the WinProc or window processor. Okay, in this window it's just doing the same thing as we discussed earlier today, I mean yesterday, last time. Okay, so it's creating a class. And is there any comments? I think there is another one which is Simple Window. Yes, I'm gonna open Simple Window. It's the same thing, but here I have comments, which is a little bit better. So step 1 is gonna register the window class. So remember, we create a object or a structure WC, and we give some properties to this structure, and then we register it with the operating system. And then we create the window, and then we make sure that we got the handle back from the operating system, and then we show the window with the type maximize minimize, and then we update the window, and we keep getting messages, translate the messages and dispatch them to WinProc. We go back now to WinProc, and we have we are listening to 2 messages, WM close and WM destroy, and you know that by now. Okay, so now that's one application. Let's go to another more fun application. It's called Menu 1. So if you go to your zip file, go to dialog 1, double click on this CodeBlocks project CBP, and then it will open your project here. Double click here to activate it. So you can double click or right click and then say activate, click on activate project, or just double click on it and it will activate it. So next time when you compile, when you build and run your application, it's gonna run this project, not another one. So let's talk about this project and how it's done, what's going on inside. So we have our 2 functions. We have the WinProc and WinMain, the entry point, WinMain. Nothing special here. It's just, by the way, let me just compile it and run it so you can see what we're gonna do. So we have a window with an icon this time, and then with the top menu. So we have a menu here, and when you click on go, it's gonna show you a message box and something else. And then file exit is gonna close the window. So we register the class, we create the class, register it. You know how to do that by now. Create the window and wait for the message loop, show the window, update the window, translate and dispatch the messages from the message queue, from the application message queue. One of the things that is different this time, we are adding in the graphical interface, we are loading an icon, and you can see that we are using something called make intersource, which is a macro, and this macro is looking for this constant, which is defined in the header file. My IDE, my icon, it's looking for it in the RC file. So if we open the RC file, sorry, the source file, and then you can see, sorry, the RC file, yes, you can see ID my icon is defined here, right? So if you go here, and that's the icon. Now let's go back and see what else we are loading as resources. This time we are using a pointer to a pointer to a string, which is menu name, and make enter source. We are looking again for the IDR my menu. So in the IDR my menu, yes, and it's a menu, and that's the menu details. So I like to use my resource editor to open the RC file again. So menu, and that's my menu here. It has stuff. Before, if you download the zip file, you're not gonna see something. It is something that I added myself. So I just double clicked here, typed something, and gave it an ID here. Okay, and then save it. When you save it, you go to your CodeBlocks project, update all, and then you will have your resources regenerated. So let me add a new item here. I'm going to call it something to. Okay, and then we're going to give it an ID just to keep it consistent. So something to. Okay, save it and go to my CodeBlocks, update the resource file all, and then it generated my something to menu item, and then I go back to my file, my program, my WinMain, and then we will talk about it when we talk about WinProc. Okay, so also we have an icon, so make enter source IDE my icon. It's the same, we are loading the same icon. Okay, after that, when we dispatch to WinProc, we are waiting for the messages. So WinProc here, it's waiting for the message, and this time we are waiting for expecting the WM command, the Windows message command. The Windows message command is a message which will be sent to our window when the user clicks on the menu. So whenever you click on a menu, a WM command is going to be generated and sent to our window message queue. Or you can also use a accelerator, for example, Control F. I don't know if we, yes, Alt F or Alt X or Control X. Wow, we didn't make a shortcut here, but if we made a shortcut, I don't know if did we make a shortcut for the X? Yes, menu item X. Okay, so we should have a Control F, Alt F, Alt F X. Yes, and it exists, the application. Okay, so whenever you use the menu or a shortcut using the keyboard, a WM command is going to be sent to the application. In this case, it's 273. Now, after that, now we know that something has been clicked on the menu, but which item was clicked exactly is going to be saved or sent through the WM parameter, W parameter, sorry. And the W parameter is, it happened to be a 32-bit variable, and we are not interested in the whole 32-bit, but we are not only interested in the this way. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to open calculator. Just explain something. When you have a variable here, which is 8-bit in our case, this is the least significant bits, and this is the most significant bits. So if I switch to 16 bits, this will be the least significant bits, and this is the most significant bits. If we go to 32, those are the least significant bits, and this is the most significant bits. So when we use this macro on Windows, when we say low word, we are talking about those bits, just those guys. We are not interested in those guys. Okay. So that's what it means in low word. So we are interested in the least significant bits of this parameter. Okay. And by the way, at the end of the day, it's just a number. And then if this number is equal to the ID of file exit, which is 40,001, it's going to post a message to the application queue message of this window, and it's going to send a WM close message. It's going to be queued and then processed again by the WinProc, and this time we will have a window message close, and then it's going to destroy the window. We spoke about these things. So this actually what it does is just going to close the window. That's what it's going to do. Okay, next one is ID stuff, go. So this ID, we give it an ID which is 40,002, and then if we click on it, it's going to just show us a message box. Another ID, do something, and I created it alone without showing you on the video here, but it's going to send it's going to show you a new button, something, click, and then yes. So since I created a new resource file, I'm going to rebuild everything, and then run, and we should have a new item here, right? So something too, nothing happens because we are not treating the message. So I'm gonna make a new case here, something two, ID something two, that's the ID. Something two is happening, and OHO 2. I'm gonna save it and build it again, run, and this time if we click on it, we should have a second message. Just to conclude this video, I will do something fun. So I'm gonna change the icon here as a resource, right? And by the way, all the resource numbers, ID definitions are here. So I'm gonna take my menu and open the RC file again, and this time I'm gonna take my icon here, and I'm gonna take the 16 bits icon, and I will just erase this and put a dot here. That's it. That's my icon. Save it. Never mind this one. It's Visual Studio. I'm going to close the Visual Studio. We don't need it. But for the code blocks, it's going to ask us to reload all the resource files because they changed. Okay. And then rebuild, run, and we have our new icon here. It's just a small dot. Okay, that concludes this video, and see you on the next application discussion. Thank you.